Well, good afternoon, everybody. I believe we left off yesterday at the point where Ken Kratz's attorney, Mr. Bob Cranan, whatever his name is, complained. Sorry, Cranan says the woman never complained at the time and is coming out of the woodwork now. He says Kratz has acknowledged sending inappropriate text message seeking an affair with a crime victim, but flat out denies the autopsy invitation. Well, I suppose, Bob Cranan, it's a case of it's Kratz's word against the victim's word. And, you know, I'm afraid that we're going to definitely side in favour of the victim. We have no confidence whatsoever in the anything that Kratz says being genuine. He is quite simply a complete and utter liar. And it's great to see the pressure building up on Ken Kratz to resign as district attorney, which of course he should have a long time ago. As soon as those text messages were reported to the Corner police, the DOJ should have immediately, JB Van Hollen should have immediately, the governor should have all immediately said, Ken Kratz, clear off. But they didn't. Partly because of Ken Kratz's mealy-mouthed excuses and trying to evade justice in this. Anyway, so let's move on to the next update was on Tuesday, September the 21st. So this the one before was Tuesday the 21st at 11:17. This is just over an hour and 2 minutes later. A law student says a Wisconsin prosecutor under fire for sending racy text messages to a domestic abuse victim sent her similar texts in 2008 after agreeing to help her seek a pardon. Maria Ruskovich told the Associated Press on Tuesday that she met Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz in his office in 2008 to discuss a decade-old drug conviction. Afterwards, she says Kratz sent her text messages and that soon turned harassing, including one that asked how she would please him in bed. In other words, to pay for his help. Payment in kind, I believe. An Oklahoma City University of Law administrator confirmed that Ruskovich was so upset by the messages that they met in 2008 to discuss how to respond. A Wisconsin prosecutor also says Ruskovich told him last year about Kratz's conduct. Kratz's lawyer, surprise, surprise, Bob, doesn't know a lot, says he doesn't know anything about the case. I think you're going to find out, Bob. 6 minutes later, Attorney General JB Van Hollen announced today that the Department of Justice will function as prosecutor in anticipated removal proceedings against Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz. Well, hooray! The wheels of justice turn very, very slowly, but at least they've finally found they've engaged gear, haven't they? Governor James Doyle announced yesterday that he expects a complaint for Kratz's removal will be filed with his office soon. According to Wisconsin statutes, a verified complaint must be brought by a resident taxpayer of Calumet County to initiate removal proceedings. District attorneys may only be removed by the governor for cause, which is defined by statute to mean inefficiency, neglect of duty, official misconduct, or malfeasance in office. Now then, we finally get mention of Mr. Potter again. No, not Harry Potter, Kevin Potter. Here we go. This is literally just 4 hours later. An aide to to Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen wants regulators to revisit their ethics investigation into a district attorney accused of sexting a crime victim. In a letter Tuesday, Department of Justice official Kevin Potter said the original investigation by the Office of Lawyer Regulation into prosecutor Ken Kratz appears flawed. Under pressure from Justice, Kratz reported to the office in December he sent text messages to a domestic abuse victim seeking a relationship while he was prosecuting her ex-boyfriend. An investigator closed the case without taking action, saying Kratz's behaviour was inappropriate but didn't violate rules governing attorney conduct. However, Potter says the OLR should review again whether Kratz violated several rules that may be relevant. And later on, we're going to look at the Code of Ethics, that all attorneys must swear to, because that's going to be significant in his removal from office. Although, of course, he ultimately takes the decision to remove himself eventually. Just while I'm thinking about it, Ken Kratz's middle name begins with R, but I've never managed to find out what it means. I'm just wondering, based on the fact that there's been several women in this case that have said that the way that he treated them, one woman in particular said that she was raped when she was 16 and it felt exactly the same. I wonder what the middle initial R in Kenneth R. Kratz stands for. Send your suggestions in, please. Anyway, moving swiftly on. This is Wednesday, the next day, 10:05 in the morning. The attorney for a Wisconsin prosecutor accused of abusing his power to seek relationships says women who have come forward since the first allegation were reported are driven by financial opportunity. I don't think so, Bob. Robert Cranen, who represents Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz, told the Associated Press on Wednesday that he wouldn't be surprised if more women go on national television to level similar accusations against his client. Cranen says Kratz feels bad about sending harassing text messages to a domestic abuse victim while prosecuting her ex-boyfriend. Which makes me laugh how we've got so many different words to describe the text messages as racy. What have we got here? Harassing. I think we need to find the exact word for what these messages are. I would say sexually abusive. But he says 2 other women who have since come forward making similar complaints have done so to take advantage of financial opportunities. He has denied one of the women's complaints and in investigating the others. Oh well. Let's move on. A Wisconsin lawmaker is calling for an audit of the office that oversees attorney conduct after it declined to discipline a prosecutor who sexually harassed, that's a good word, a crime victim. Oh, good 2 words, in fact. Yes, sexually harassing. Representative Teresa Burkow said Wednesday she has serious concerns that the Office of Lawyer Regulation goes too light on lawyers who engage in misconduct. In a letter to the legislature's Audit Committee, the Madison Democrat said she wants a review of how the office handled the case against Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz. She said she also wants auditors to compare Wisconsin's rates of lawyer discipline to other states. An OLR investigation closed the case against Kratz in March, saying his text messages to a domestic abuse victim were inappropriate but not professional misconduct. Well, of course, back then, did they know about all of the... No, I don't think they did. I don't think they knew about anything other than the messages from Stephanie Van Groll? No, they didn't, because we are at the same time frame when a lot of people were coming forward with information about Ken Kratz. Okay, one more. Here we go. This is a press release from the Governor's office entitled "Governor Doyle announces next steps in removal process for DA Kenneth R. for whatever you want to put in there, Kratz." I know what I'll put in there. Anyway, Governor Jim Doyle today announced he has received a verified complaint against Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz from a county resident, and he is moving forward with the removal process. He put, "Today I received a verified complaint against DA Kratz, and I have begun the process to remove him from office," Governor Doyle said. I like how you get the same sentence presented two different ways, and they're pretty much the same. As a former 3-term district attorney and a former 3-term attorney general, I have worked hard to protect victims of crime, and I am deeply troubled by the accounts of DA Kratz's actions. I want every crime victim, particularly those of sensitive crimes such as domestic violence, sexual assault and child abuse, to know that they can go into a police station or a prosecutor's office and be treated in a professional and respectful manner. But didn't they know that they were going to see the prize? Kratz is being notified of the charges against him and has a legal right to be heard. A public hearing on the charges will be held. Further details on the time and location of the public hearing will be forthcoming. Governor Doyle has appointed former Kenosha County District Attorney Bob Jamboy, or Jamboy maybe, to serve as Commissioner of the proceedings. Following the public hearings, Jamboy will make a report to the Governor. Governor Doyle retains the sole power to remove the district attorney from office. Okay, we'll catch you again, maybe tomorrow with the next 5 or 6 press reports, and take care. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.